are watching 32 teams in 32 days on the Game Time Sports Network.
It's a great day, sports world. Back again. San Francisco 49ers are up right now. 32 teams in 32 days. Amon, my co-host. What's up, brother? Back for another one, man. How you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, man. Back for another one. Get ready to get we halfway through the NFC West. I got two more to knock out. We'll knock out the 49ers today and the Cardinals tomorrow. Yeah, man, I'm feeling good, man. Let's keep this thing rolling, bro.
Yeah, so the 49ers are up right now. These guys have made the playoffs to 5 of the last 7 years. And I want to throw this thing up here. Last year, they didn't make the playoffs. They were 12-5. Lost in the divisional round to the
Mm-hmm.
to the Rams, right? No,
Yes. No,
Seahawks.
Seahawks,
The
Seahawks.
Seahawks. And got mollywopped in the division.
41-6.
Oh man. Uh, One thing about this team throughout the season, they were impacted by injuries and costly absences. 49ers led the NFL by losing over 95 million in player salary value to injury absences during the regular season. Brock Purdy, 9 games. George Kittle, 11 games. Brandon Ayuk didn't play at all, and he ain't playing at all now, at least for right now. Nick Bosa was just limited to 3 games, and Fred Warner just 6 games. Like I said, $95 million. That's tough right there. What you think about that, man?
Yeah, man, you got $100 million in payroll on the sideline, whether it's due to injuries or off the field issues, et cetera, et cetera. Man, it's tough, man, for a team that their Super Bowl window is slowly but surely closing, back in 2021, 22, where they were at the top 2, 3 teams in the league. We thought that window would be open for a while, but injuries and getting old, man, that window comes and it goes just like that, man. Fortunate for them, what's the GM name?
John Lynch.
John Lynch, he draft well. We know Kyle Shanahan. We know what he brings to the table, and he had defensive coordinators as Robert Saleh in the past. They had Wilkes at one point as well. Um, I think Wilkes was the coordinator at one point, or maybe I'm
He,
thinking about somebody else.
he was at one point. I want to say like a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Salah came last year, and this year they have Raheem Morris.
Raheem
Who,
Moore. Raheem
yeah,
Morris is back. Um, but it's tough, man. You got all pros on the sideline. We know what Nicky Bosa is when he's 100% healthy. He was one of those guys. We know the standard at middle linebacker, Fred Warner, what he is, what he represents to this 49ers defense. And, Brock Purdy, the signal caller, and, CMC. Those are key guys and key roles that are, lost. And, for Shanahan and the 49ers to keep trucking along like they did to make the playoffs. That was kind of remarkable, man, to lose all that. So, man, that was a tough pill to swallow last year if you're a 49ers fan.
Kyle Shanahan approaching year 10, 82-67 record. That winning percentage up there at 550, 5 winning seasons, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and 4 conference title games in a 5-year span. What a hell of a resume! And you know who his dad is.
Yes, we all know. Yes, I know too. Yes, but you surely do. Absolutely.
Mr. Back to Back. But
Mr. Back to
bro,
back is crazy.
Brock Purdy last year, and through his first 4 years, he started out 5-0, and it's like we not that far removed from him just coming on the scene, Mr. Irrelevant. And he was 5-0 in his first 5 starts, 13-4. The touchdown to interception ratio, the completion percentage in the late 60s, damn near 70. His best season in 2023, I believe, was that the year they went to the Super Bowl, I want to say.
Yes.
And then, with 24, I want to say they missed the playoffs. And then last year, even though missing 9 games, still 7-2. it doesn't matter like how many guys come up injured. It just always seems like this team is always willing to fight, no matter you know if your starter's gone. Hey, what? Guess what? The second string, hey, the third string, they coming up and playing just as well. And that's one thing that the 49ers do. They draft well, they develop well, but they do stay hella injured. Um,
Oh, brother, bro, it was a time there at one point I was scared. I was like, "Whoo."
CMC, he's got a clean bill of health. Last year, he was the 2025 AP Comeback Player of the Year. He played 17 games, 311 on carries, 1202 on the yards, 10 touchdowns, and 3.9, just under 4 yards a carry. Also, getting that workload in the pass game. He's one of the running backs that I want to say, did he have 1,000 rushing, 1,000 passing? I want to say that was in like his Carolina years.
Yeah, I think he had one in the Carolina. Is one his Carolina years, I want to say. Yeah, he was
Very,
he was the only thing that they had at one point. So yeah.
very productive. Uh, and then if you look at his resume, it's like he only got maybe 4 seasons where he's played with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons out of his 9 years that he played all the games. And some of those games might have been 16, and then back then they were playing 17 games up
Yeah.
until like, what, 2020, 2019, something like that. Then they playing the extra game.
Mm-hmm.
CMC is still a threat to this, for this team. What's your thoughts on just CMC last year, and do you think the health can stay up? I mean,
Yeah, I mean for CMC last year, I thought he played pretty well for the. If you can pull that stat back up from me one more time, first time in a long time he's played 17 games. He's over 300 touches, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, and he had 102 receptions. He almost went back to back, 1,000 again, man. So he's very productive. The thing with CMC now is, hey, he's on the back end of his career there, so it's all about his health. I have no question about what he can do on the field. As the numbers right there in front of you show. It's about his health and his in the depth in the running back room. Who do they have behind him? I think Isaac Guerrero is there, a running back out of Louisville, drafted a few years ago. I
Gorindo,
think he's still Gorindo. Sorry,
yeah.
um, I know it
I
was
think
something
they
like that.
had Robinson there as well too last year, but
Yeah, so the depth behind him is going to be very important to keep him fresh going down the stretch, and hopefully he can avoid the injury bug. But we know just as well as everybody else know, the injury bug has been not too favorable for him in the season. Like you said, 6 of his 9 years, he's played what a full 16, 17. Well,
mhm.
hopefully he can keep that momentum going from last year and play a full 17 and get the best version of this 49ers team that could potentially threaten to win the NFC West outright.
2017, 18, and 19 he played 16. 2020 he played 3 games. 21 he played 7, and then he played in 22 he played 17. 22, oh yeah, so 22 he played 17. That's the year he got traded, and then 23 he played 16, so that's consecutive. And then 24 he played 4 games. 25 he played 17. 102 receptions on top of having 1,200 yards. Man, that is in the pass game. That's number one, number two wide receiver numbers right there.
Absolutely. At the low bar, that's the number two. 102 catches, 924 yards with 7 touchdowns, I believe. You any other team would say, "Whew, I wish I could get that from my number two receiver." You know what I mean? But he giving it to you as that RB1. Oh, let alone let's add another 300 rushes, another 1,200 yards, another 10 to 7 touchdowns to that. So he's giving you everything you need in that Shanahan wide zone scheme. We all know what that scheme is. Everybody's running a little version of it at some point. If not, still, going to pick it up in the future because it's a good scheme. And yeah, man. So I'm excited to see what he do. I'm excited to see the depth in the backfield this year. So I feel like all the pressure won't be on him. And when we speak about Kittle and the wide receiver situation, there's some injuries there, so it's going to be key and paramount for to have CMC out there for a full 16, 17 games this year.
Let's talk about that offense. So, we talked about Purdy and CMC. Now he led the team with 129 targets last year. That's crazy. Jawan Jennings was second with 90. Oh man. He had 55 receptions and 643 on the yards. He's not there anymore. He's in Minnesota. We'll touch base more on him when we get to that team. George Kittle just only limited to 11 games, 69, 57, 628, 7 touchdowns. Kendrick Bourne, Ricky Pearsall, who is now out for the season due to I think it was a lingering knee injury. He had 53, 36, and 528. Could have been very productive this season. Could have been used, but he's going to be gone. Jake Tungus, who's a productive tight end. I think when we talk about more of those later on, that could be a nice little duo with the tight end situation with Kittle and then Tungus. But then, all right, let's talk about the key additions, key departures. Mike Evans, who we're going to touch on in a few minutes. Mike Evans, Osa Digizua. They picked up Christian Kirk, Ashton Davis, Jason Pinnock, a host of others. And then on the key departures, Jawan Jennings, Jordan Elliott, Kendrick Bourne, Brian Robinson, a couple other guys, Curtis Robinson, a couple other guys, D. Winters, who was traded to Dallas. So I want to ask you, in the key additions and key departures, which departure will hurt them the most going into the season?
Oh man, that's a tough one, man. I think the Jawan Jennings departure is kind of they couldn't reach a number because I know they were in like contract talks for a while, but they could just never reach a number. So he hit free agency, and we know what Jawan Jennings was for that team. He was a target of Brock Purdy's, going across the middle, doing all the dirty work. So he's huge. He's versatile. He may throw a touchdown here every once in a blue. But I know he's one of Brock Purdy's favorite targets. As far as key additions, I'm looking at this Osia Odigizui addition from the Dallas Cowboys. I know they came via trade, and I know they trying to rebuild this defensive line. Then you still got Michael Williams, number 9 overall pick in last year's draft, maybe 2 drafts ago. You got Nicky Bosa. So yeah, you're trying to reinvent yourself and get some pressure up the middle here for this NFC West that you're going to have to get to the quarterback in order to be successful and win games. So yeah, I'm looking at those departures. I'm looking at that key addition. Obviously, the low hanging fruit here in this graphic is Mike Evans. We all know what Mike Evans is. He's a standard model of consistency for 1,000 yards in and out. I think he's had 12 or however many years he's been in the league straight 1,000 yard season. So that's the low hanging fruit to say Mike Evans. But I really want to focus on Osa Diggy and what they gave up and the impact he can have on this defense in 2026.
What was the conversation? Do you have it in front of you?
But which one? But
Osa. I
I
don't
think it
think
was
it was
like a
fun.
2 and a 3 or a 2. It was a 2 and some. It was a 2 and some change. I know that for a fact. I don't have the conversation in front of me, but I do remember seeing it come across the screen. It was like a second and some change, if I'm not mistaken.
Um, this that when we could touch, well, I'm gonna touch back on defense in a second. That offense, the fifth ranked pass offense, and then that the run in the run game they were ranked 24th. You overall they were ranked 10th. You go to the defensive side of the ball, overall they were ranked 13th. They were 25th in the pass, and they were 11th against the run. The,
Mm,
the
11th against the run.
11th against the run, um, in which they allowed 4.3. So you get when you got a whole bunch of teams just bunched up in there like that, allowing 3.9, 4.2. You know how that
A
goes.
cloud of dust.
The player that I'm keyed in on as far as key additions, um, Mike Evans, and Mike Evans entering new beginnings right here. Uh, in 2025 with the Bucks, he was just limited to 8 games, 62 targets, 30 catches, 368 yards, with 3 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards in 11 of his 12 seasons. And now he comes over to the 49ers, and they have trouble keeping their players healthy, and not just offensively, just defensively as well. So I'm keyed in on that to see how he's going to look. Christian Kirk as well, even though he's far removed from what he was, good decent role player, but I feel like he can definitely add something in spurts to this offense. It's not going to happen every week, in my opinion, because it hasn't happened in every week in the past recent years. Who was he with last year? I can't think. I think it
Oh, I
was
can't even remember.
who was Christian Kirk? Oh man,
Producer, we can look it up right quick.
was he with Houston? I think he was with Houston. Played 13 games with Houston. He only had 52 targets, 28 receptions, 239 yards, and a touchdown. So I mean, and he only had 1,000-yard season. That was with Jacksonville. I forgot he played with Jacksonville. He was drafted by Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah. Who? Christian Kirk been in the league for a while.
In 2018, he got drafted.
Mm.
So I feel like he can add some production there. As far as key departures, I think D Winners, even though they're like their linebacking group is they're consistent. Even taking you back to the Drake Greenlaws, who's now back with them. But they seem to be drafting well at their linebacker position. I think D Winters trading him away. I think you got some good compensation back for him, but that might be a key loss. But on the other hand, you got other linebackers on the come up. You got other linebackers on the come up like Nick Martin, who was drafted last year. Tatum Bethune, who's going into his third season, is going to be looking for a contract here coming soon. Um, so who I forgot what I was about to ask you, but we're going to go to the draft picks real quick. And
Before we move on to the draft picks, I'm gonna add one more player. I didn't see him on the graphic, but Debo Samuel got signed back
Debo
this
Samuel,
week.
how about that?
Debo Samuel got signed back this week on a 1 year up to like 1 year 7 million, but it's like 1 year with 4 million with like 3 million incentives except XYZ. The language is kind of funny, but we know what Debo meant to San Francisco when he was there on that first run. He was an energizer bunny. He was the heartbeat of that team, along with him and Trent Williams. And when Debo get going, the crowd get going, the team get going, and that's when you see the best version of San Francisco. So hopefully, him getting back into that building, Levi Stadium, add with Mike Evans. Um, Unfortunately, Ricky Pearsall, he got the PCL injury. He's out for the year. And the guy we're going to talk about here in a very few seconds, Deshaun Stribling, that second round pick from I think it's Old Miss, I want to say he came from. So yeah, that's going to be a exciting wide receiver room. I don't know the Brandon Ayuk situation. I don't know what they're going to do there. I'm pretty sure they're going to hold on to him. I don't want to say hold him hostage, but look like his days are numbered as a San Francisco 49er. So yeah, man, it's gonna be some changes in that room, new faces, fresh faces, and with Pearsall being out now, you can go into the next graphic now. I think Deshaun Stribling is going to play a huge role on this team, being playing that a souped up version of Jawan Jennings. I think he's maybe faster, stronger than Jawan Jennings, maybe the same size. I don't know the height and measurables right now, but yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see what that wide receiver room and see Brock Purdy pepper the ball around the field to those guys.
I think a lot of people were sleeping on or they had some criticism about the Dejon Stribling pick. But from me watching the film, I think he can make an immediate impact. Um, and then you go into the third round, to the third round pick, two third round picks. You take a Romello Height out of Texas Tech, and then you take a Kalen Black, who I think if CMC just so happened to miss some time, of course, a host of other running backs, because that running back room is averaging over 4 yards a carry. It doesn't matter who you are. It could be us. We averaging at least about 3.9, at least 3.8. But just based on how that offensive line, how they block. Grayson Halton, who was drafted in the fourth, and Carver Willis, another depth piece to the offensive line, and then a cornerback in the fourth. You get a linebacker in the fifth, and another offensive tackle in the fifth. What draft pick to you highlights? You might have already told me already.
Yeah, I think I'm picking. I'm gonna pick the Deshaun Stribling. His name is so weird. Deshaun Stribling,
This on
second round.
this on
Yeah,
Zeppelin.
and yeah, and I'm gonna go Romello Hyatt as well. We know what he did. Beside David Bailey at Texas Tech last year, en route to the college football player. That was one of the top two, top three dynamic duos off the edge in college football. So I'm curious to see how slow they bring him along and unleash him. And with this defense, like I said, I'm going back to Stribling because of the loss of Ricky Pearsall. He's thrust to have a more prominent role within this offense early on as a rookie in his first season. So those two picks right there are the ones I'm really keeping my eye on. And one more probably is Grayson Halton. He had a little buzz last year coming into the draft process. Really good player. So I'm curious to see his development and how he fits into this rotation, and he can give some productive minutes and productive snaps to this defense that desperately needs it.
Um, Fred Warner, his 6 games, 51 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss. Dre Greenlaw in his time with Denver played 8 games, 43 tackles. As we talked about trading D Winters to the Cowboys, he had 101 tackles. Tatum Bethune, 14 games, 8 starts, 94 tackles. He also did some work with tackles for loss, sack, 4 PDs. Ronaldo Green in this secondary was pretty decent. 14 games. He had an 84.8 rate, MPDs. Diamador Lenore, 94.6 rate. Justin Upton. I'm thinking about baseball. Upton
Hey,
Stout.
hey.
Upton Stout. He had no touchdowns allowed. And Jair Brown, who had a pretty down year, allowed 4 touchdowns. He had 91.4 rate. This secondary allowed some stuff last year. And it's
Yeah, I don't like those. Man, I'm not saying that you have to have household names, but the secondary is probably the one part of this team that kind of scares me a little bit. We know what the front seven brings. For his safety and corner, I got some question marks um about that level of the defense. So I mean, hey, Jair Brown, we know he played great that one year. He was a rookie, went to the Super Bowl. He played great. He's probably one of their best secondary players, but this hasn't been the same guy since then. So it's curious to see if that front seven can bring enough pressure to give those corners enough time to pass to receivers and make a few more plays than what they gave up last year.
pretty much they're going into the same. They're going in the season with the same unit. Jair Brown, Malik Mustafa. Uh, they got your boy over there now, Jack Jones.
Oh, yeah, dog.
So the Ephesians Prissick, is it Prissick?
Ephesians Prashop. I
Pri-
know.
I wanted to say Prisock, but I wasn't sure because you know how some
And the
names.
only reason why I know it's a Prashop because I played NCAA football last year and I got him in college ultimate team and I had to Google his name and how to say it. So that's the only reason why I know. So the only reason why I know.
uh, do you see this secondary? Do you see him contributing to the secondary this year, anytime this year?
Yeah, I think he will, contribute in some shape, form, or fashion. He's a big kid. He's like 6'4", two and some change. He's a big boy. He's a
Oh
6'4"
wow.
corner. Yeah, he's 6'4", legit 6'4". He's a long press man corner. Um, can play zones. Well, he can do a little bit of both. So played at Notre Dame a few years. So he's gonna have to make an impact or at least contribute to this secondary. Yeah, I think you'll see him on the field at some point this year.
The the defensive front with, as we talked about, Nick Bosa, him coming back. Hopefully he's healthy. Keon White, Michael Williams. In the limited fashion of Michael, uh, did he impress you? Or and coming into this season, do you see him making a big impact? Because this
Once again,
before you answer that, because this the team as a whole, the defense as a whole, 20 sacks. That's it on the season, just 20.
yeah, but like you said, I'm not saying that Nicky Bosa put a big dent in that number, but I'm pretty sure he did. Not being there, and Michael was a rookie last year, so I didn't expect any sack production. Not a lot. I don't know how many sacks he had last year. I didn't expect a whole lot, but I expect him to defend the run very well because he did that at Georgia. Defended the run very well. So I think this year going into it, having a year on his belt, seeing how the game is, I think you'll see a better version of Michael Williams. I was a big fan of Michael Williams coming out of Georgia because guess what he went to play ball at, and you know what Georgia brings them D linemen, they come out the woodwork. So I expect to see another level of uptick from Michael Williams in his second year.
Is this the next Georgia defensive tackle that's going to be up on the horizon here? Could potentially be.
Potentially. I mean, they haven't given us any reason to not say that he won't. Even it makes sense. All of them have got paid. I think Nolan Smith from Philadelphia. I think he's maybe up. We know the ones that got paid. Jordan Davis, as we said yesterday and a couple days ago. So, hey, man, history says yes, he'll break out in the next year or two, and when it's extension eligible time, I don't know if he's going to be at the 30 million, 38, whatever Jalen Carter's making right now. I don't know if he's going to be in that, but he will get a hefty payday when it's his time.
Well, it's his time to shine. He only had one sack last year in 9 games.
Yeah, he
Uh,
was he wasn't healthy all the way last year too, so that's why I say, hey, you'll see a better version of him getting a full offseason of rehab, get stronger, work on your counter moves, and all that good jazz that they work on in the offseason. So that's why I say yes, you'll see a better and improved version of Michael Williams plus a healthy Nicky Bosa. You might have trouble on your hands if everything connects with these two.
Nick Bosa just 2 sacks last year. You know
And
who's
we
a
know what boy, that's a down year for him, boy. Because Nicky Bosa, his peak was at 15, 16 sacks back in 2019, 2020, when he was going
he
crazy.
he had 15 in 2021. He had 18 and a half in 2022, 10 and a half, 9-2.
Yeah, he on the way back.
Do you know who led the team in sacks last year?
I don't know.
You gonna laugh. Bryce Huff with 1. Cleveland Farrell the other one. 4. 4 sacks.
Whoo. Yeah, that ain't good.
20 sacks in the whole season, and the leader, the
Yeah,
two leaders, just 4.
and I think they signed him like halfway. I think they signed him in like free agency last year.
Bryce
Or
Huff.
no,
Oh,
Cleveland
Cleveland Farrell.
Farrell. I
I
want to say
believe
that.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, they signed. Man. That part of the game has to get better to get back to where they need to be. That's rough, man. That's rough. And here you got Miles Garrett had more sacks than the daggone team of last year by itself. That is insane. Yeah, man. For them to be um, a high level unit or a high level team, that 20 number has to get rose to like maybe 45, 50 at the most for to be that team that they want to be. So yeah, that's insane. That's a wild number.
I got some offensive line numbers, and to look at the offensive line, Trent Williams, 16 games, 3.5 sacks allowed. That's a lot for him. He usually not allowing.
Oh, he locked down over there.
Yeah. Connor Colby, 13 games. He's had 6 starts, 2 sacks allowed. Jake Brindle, 15 games, a sack and a half allowed. And then Dominic Pooney, just three
Hmm.
sacks allowed, 17 games. Colton McKivitz, 5 sacks allowed. It's always that right tackle spot that's always allowing the most. But he played 17 games, he had 5 sacks allowed. And they pretty much bring in the same unit back. But Trent Williams is it a concern with him going into year whatever this is for him? Is it a concern factor with him getting older and with this offensive line? It should be a plus when they're coming back. They all coming back and have the camaraderie together. Should it be a concern though?
I won't say it's concerned because Trent Williams probably still the best left tackle in the game until he this well you can until he let me not say that he's left best left tackle in the game. Right under him is Panay Sewell in my humble opinion. Then you got your Lane Johnsons and so forth and so on. Is it a concern? No. We just hope, and we're gonna knock on wood right now, the injury bug don't hit him. Because we know once that if he goes down, it's gonna be tough sled to replace our first ballot Hall of Fame on that left side. And he's protecting Brock Purdy's blind side. And that's a critical spot that they can't afford to lose. And the depth behind him is I think they have a rookie or either a second year guy behind him. And which you probably will see at some point they go and get a guy to replace him because they know the end of the road is coming pretty soon. So I'm not concerned, but if injury do pop up, a little nagging injury here and there, my ears will perk up and see how far, how long, will this affect him in going into the season.
They did pick up a Robert Jones. I believe he played in Miami.
Yeah, I knew they had got some depth from somewhere, but it won't nothing not be disrespectful, but headline worthy. Be like, ooh, you know what I mean? But they got some insurance just in case.
Um, let's take a look at their schedule here.
It's murderous road right here, probably, boy.
I thought it was gonna pop up. But it ain't popping up. There it is. Week 1 at the Rams. Week 2, they got the Dolphins and Cardinals. That should be 2 wins for them. Then you face the Broncos in week 4. You're
That's
at
a win.
Hey, I'm gonna let you have that. At the Seahawks in week 5, Commanders at Falcons. Then they hit a bye week. They got an early bye week in week 8. You come back, you face the Raiders. That could be a win for the Raiders.
Yeah, it's a win. Week 9.
After that, at Cowboys, Vikings, Seahawks, at the Giants. Who knows how they're gonna be looking? Rams, Chargers, Chiefs, Eagles. Before finishing off against the Cardinals, with the first 2 NFC West teams, we talked about their schedule being pretty tough in certain points, and this one right here between week 1, 4, 5, who knows about 6. And you're at Atlanta, so you're going to different time zones. So who knows about that? You know how those games can go. But then after that bye week, after they face the Raiders, you got that little stretch right there. What do you think about that right there? Is that a murderer's row, as you would say?
Yeah, that week 10 to week that 10 week 10 to week 14, boy. Whew. You got potential playoff teams. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playoff teams. And I'm not even talking about the Chiefs and the Eagles down at the bottom. That's 6, 7. Yeah, man. That's and they got how many primetime games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the league is excited about the 49ers and this team going up against these high profile teams in the NFC. Yes, we don't know what the Vikings is going to be, but in all intent and purposes, we think they're going to be better than they were last year. We don't know what Harbaugh Giants is going to be come week 13, like you said. But the Rams, Chargers, Chiefs, Eagles, those are playoff teams, man. And like I said, the last past episodes, they're going to be battling for a playoff seed, in my humble opinion. So, whew, it's health, man. If everybody stays healthy, you're going to see some good football from the San Francisco 49ers that last stretch of the back half of the season.
What running back besides CMC will be a key contributor? Will it be Kalen Black? Will it be Isaac Garendo? Um, Patrick Taylor, who's a vet? Who do you think that guy could be?
I think Patrick. I mean, what's the Isaac Garendo? Only because he has the speed factor, and he can take the top um, off of defense. Not take the top off of defense, but run past the defense with his speed. I've seen him maybe at Louisville a couple times a few years back, and once he get in the open field, it's good night. So, with that Shanahan, that blocking scheme, all you want to do is find a crease, and he's out the gate. So, and they need that, because they don't want to rely on CMC to carry the heavy load. You want to spell him a little bit. So I'm looking at Isaac Garendo going into his third year, second or third year, to see what he can do in that running back room to help Christian McCaffrey out.
You also got a Jordan James on here too. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah, I remember Jordan James.
Um, Kyle Juszczyk played. What did he do? He made 10 straight Pro Bowls. Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew he was up there. I know he had like 6 or 7, but I didn't know it was 10 straight. He's the ultimate Swiss Army knife, the ultimate one.
10 straight Pro Bowls, and ain't a whole lot of fullbacks in the league, so it's like
insane.
What wide receiver do you see making a big impact? Don't forget, they did draft Jordan Watkins also from Ole Miss last year. Well, and they still have Jacob Cowling, Jordan Watkins. They got DeMarcus Robinson, that piece. But what wide receiver do you see making a big impact other than Mike Evans?
I'm gonna say Debo Samuel. I'm gonna say Debo playing that Pierce and being in that.
I don't know why I keep forgetting Debo on this team.
Yeah, forget about Debo. I'm gonna say Debo Samuel, man, coming back. The same offense. He doesn't have to learn anything new. He doesn't have to. Verbiage is still the same. So I'm gonna say Debo Samuel. If Debo can be the number 2, he can give me 45, 50 balls, 60 balls, give me 700-800 yards. I think that'll be huge, huge, huge for this team this year. And I got a hot take for Brock Purdy when you're ready for it. I got a hot take. I think Brock Purdy would throw for over 5,000 yards this year. I think you will. It's 5,000, 4,000? Yeah, 5. I think he get over 5,000. I'm looking at 30 touchdowns, 5,000 yards.
You see a team that's run heavy like that. You see a quarterback throwing for 5,000 yards and that run heavy system.
That's a 5,000. 5,000. Yeah, look at the weapons, bro. He's never had a Mike Evans.
No.
Never.
No.
He has, and that's 1,000 right there, right? And then Debo come in and give you whatever, or 8, 9, and then Kittle give you 9 to 1,000, coming off an Achilles. Let's be straight.
600 last year.
Yeah, so let's say 8. He get back to his old ways. This bowl. I said it was a bowl. I ain't say it was as a take. Wow, he gets you back to 8, 9, 1,000. You got what's my guy Stribling? He come in give you 4 to 6. I don't know, my math ain't mathing, but and then CMC give you 1,100. I can see it happening. I can definitely see it happening. So, but I think you'll see I see 5,000. This bowl, Super Bowl take. I see Brock throwing for 5,000 yards, and you'll see a way, way, way better version of this man, like MVP type conversation with Brock Purdy this year.
Okay.
You know how you did to Daniel Jones? He gonna be the offensive player. This mine for this year. So I can fall flat on my face though, but
The thing that helps them out, they got the seventh easiest expected schedule. So um, you may be on to something. We're gonna, we're
Maybe.
gonna, we're gonna have to screenshot this, and when week 10 gets here, and
You gonna clip this up. You gonna clip this up, and you gonna play this. Yeah, I already know. I already know how you do. You be scamming. But
yeah.
it's fine. I already know it's gonna clip this real quick.
Did you know that Eddie Pinero, the kicker, led the league in field goal percentage at 96.6?
That's automatic, ain't it?
Yeah, he was 28 and 29 from field goals, 34 for 38 from the extra points.
Mm.
So that helps them out. 49ers usually kind of drafting either a punter or a kicker somewhere.
Boy, they used to be like us back when we drafted Janikowski in the first round. Boy, they be drafting kickers in the second and third round and stuff. Boy, don't be off. They'll be off the team in about 2 years. It's so crazy.
The final expectations that you see for this team. I do see this team. I'm not saying Super Bowl, but I can definitely see this team making a deep playoff run. And with that fire that they, with all the injuries, I definitely can see this team making a comeback and kind of lighting the league up, taking their spot back. Potentially being in the Super Bowl. I can see that. I wouldn't be surprised if that did happen.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised, man. I see them winning 11, 12 games, probably make a divisional run, and I think it stops there. Because we know just the law of averages. It's going and it sucks to say this, but it's going to be an injury somewhere along the way, like Brock Purdy's UCL when they played the Eagles in the champion. Was a divisional game before the Eagles won Super Bowl a couple years ago. There's going to be something fluky that always get to them. So I said, if barring health, I see them in the NFC Championship. But if an injury or two get them, I see them divisional at worst.
Same. I can see the same. I can see the wild card, and I can also see conference championship. It all depending on which way it goes. Got any players that you got your like a specific eye on before we get out of here?
Nah, man, nobody in specific. It's hey, I'm looking at Kyle Shanahan. You've been there 10 years. You've two Super Bowl appearances. You know, great playoff. His. I mean, regular season record. When is the 49ers going to say, okay, hey, that's good, but we gotta expect better? When is the patience wear with Kyle Shanahan? That's my question. I know there's been some rumblings about it in the past, um, but do the 49ers fan base, do they in the front office, do they stay patient? Do they look to move on? That is my thing, and it's all depending on how the team do. If the team win the Super Bowl, he's not going nowhere. But if they come up wild card divisional round, you just have to question, hey, do we want to move forward, or because we keep falling short, or is there anybody out there that can take us over the hump and get us to the mountaintop? Those are the questions that I want to see ask, and I want to see if they play up on the field get answered come January, February of next year.
Is there a chance that we could see Mr. Ayuk on the field at any time this season?
Man, this man aboard a house in DC, man. What we doing, bro? He said he playing for the Commanders this year. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, all jokes in the corner,
Did
I
he
kind of
really?
joke a whole lot. Yeah, he did. Yeah. He bought a house.
Wow.
Yeah, he bought a house. Um, I want to say so. I think I did see something. I want to say he did buy a house in DC. But all jokes in the corner, man. I don't know what that situation is going to be like. He's still technically under contract or uh, affiliated with or contractually obligated to be with the 49ers. I don't know the ins and outs. There's smarter people out there than me that know about that, but I think he's done at the San Francisco 49er. I think they want to trade him, but they're holding up for compensation. But right now, anybody giving you nothing. for him because you know he don't want to be there. So why would I give you something when you know he don't want to be there? So I think it's a battle of chicken. It's a game of chicken between our Ukes people and the 49ers. And I'm seriously and want to see who gives first and say, you know what, we washing hands with it. You go ahead and find your better team and well wishes. So I think it's over in San Francisco.
And you don't know about the medicals either. You
There you go. So
in saying that, my players that I'm watching is strictly coming from this wide receiver group because Stribling is definitely one, and then Jordan Watkins. He might not make a lot of impact because of what's in front of him, but you got just in case if Debo do go down because he's had some injuries in his past as well. Mike Evans injuries in his past as well. It's going to be somebody that's going to have to step up. And with Pearsall being out, somebody's gonna have to step up. So between those two young guys right there, and then on the defensive side of the ball, it's gonna be a little oddball. But Keon White, when he got drafted out of New England, out of
Georgia
Georgia Tech,
Tech, yeah, with New England. Yep.
then New England, but he can cause some havoc on the line, at least to a pressure degree. The sack numbers might not be there, but he does at least get to. He creates some pressures there to help Nick Bosa out. Whether Nick Bosa is there or whether he injured
Have a
or whatever.
setback or something like that.
Yeah. But I want to be keyed in on him as well as Michael Williams. They're going into his second year to see if you can go up there to it. You can be up there with the Jalen Carters and the Jordan Davises.
Hold on, slow your roll. Hold on, boy. That's
You
like
might have a second year lead.
boy, that's like getting 87 gas and going to get 93 right now, boy. Woo, slow down. We're gonna pull ball brakes on this 93 now. Yeah, but yeah, he definitely get there. Even if he don't get to the Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, that type of, can he get to 7 sacks this year? Can he get that? And if he get that, he has something to build on going into 2027. Then you know what you got after that. So, but yeah, I agree with you. I like the Michael Williams call out. I'm a big fan of Michael. So,
All right. I think we pretty much covered just about everything, guys. People like Raymond Hanley, 49er fan.
Lexi Sprague, all the bros.
Let us know how you think your team is going to do this year. I think you're going to do pretty well as long as you have a clean bill of health. And Mon, you got anything else before we head up out of here?
Nah, man. I ain't got nothing else. We got one team tomorrow, and that's that's the Arizona Cardinals. It's not going to be a show like the last 3 teams we covered. This is more of a team that's in transition, rebuilding, new head coach, trying to find an identity, looking for a quarterback right now. So this could be a little more of a more of, hey, if we're going to recap on what they did last year, and then we're going to look at their assets that they have, and they're trying to build for the future. So you're going to see a little bit of a, hey, they're not making the playoffs, but hey, this is where they are. Can they get to X amount of wins and see what they can build on? So I'm very excited for the Arizona Cardinals outlook, for 2026 and what they did last year tomorrow. So that's going to be a fun one as well.
One more, like you said, one more NFC West team. We sweeping right through this thing, man, and then we on to the West, where we start
Best
with the
division of football, baby.
Yeah, and you started with the best, Y'all have a good night, everybody.